out, but Blake put a tweet out today that got people talking a lot on our Snapchat. Who is the NBA's most improved player? And there are a couple of names. I would say off the bat, a couple of guys that what do you got when people say most improved player? What do you guys think of primarily? What's your definition of that award? Because sometimes I look at to me, I'm never going to choose a guy that I feel like we expected to get to a certain level. So with SGA, yeah, his numbers are amazing, but we expected SGA to be this type of guy. With Ja when he won it last year, we expected Ja to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's kind of how I look at it. What do you guys look at when it comes to most improved?
Lauri Markannen, what he's done this whole season.
That's like he's the most model guy for that award.
Literally, that's all it is to it. What he's done and what he's continuing to do this whole season.
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. I didn't expect SGA to average 30+ points. I didn't see that coming. I just saw him as like a 25 points per game type of scorer, which is what he averaged last year. But I never saw him averaging more than 30. So yeah. I would actually give it to him over Lauri Markanen, but I get what you all saying. But I just because I don't expect it. That's why it depends on the person who's voted. It just depends what you expect out of a person. I've never really been a person to watch SGA's game. I watch from time to time, but I never expect him to average more than 30 points. You all might be different, but
I say I expected SGA to average 30 points more than I'd expect Lauri Markanen to average 25. I thought Lauri Markkanen's career was about to be in the gutter.
Like, yeah, you did.
To think about,
and then he does this season.
Yeah, like Lauri Markanen goes from like a subpar role player and like we don't know what type of guy he is to like a first option. SGA has been first option, a playoff guy his whole. I mean, there were 2 seasons where SGA his whole career wasn't the first option. You know,
you can kind of tell SGA was about to take that turn. Like, okay,
you can tell he was going to get there.
This is what he's about to do.
I'll say this:
it's completely different.
We didn't know.
I'll say this. Yeah, I'll say this about Lauri Markanen. Would you say you thought his career was about to, kind of go down a little bit more after he got traded from the or after he left? It was Cleveland. He left Cleveland, right?
Previously, yeah.
Yeah, previously after you left Cleveland, is it because you just thought, his talent wasn't what we thought it was, or his opportunities?
I'll say when he got traded, I just thought, okay, he's just gonna.
I'm be honest, I simply think it's his opportunities.
Yeah, which
I don't know. I felt like he was just gonna once he got traded to Utah, he was just gonna be like that. Okay, he's here while they're rebuilding. He's just there for 1 or 2 years.
Yeah. No, that's true. But he's gotten more opportunities with the Utah Jazz. He's capitalized on them. To me,
that's a good point. Here's what I'll say. Let me look up Lauri Markkanen's numbers. I feel like Lauri Markkanen had opportunities. Now there were a couple years, because there were years where he was like, there was a year he averaged 19 a game, and everybody was like, okay, after this, okay, what's gonna happen now?
This is right here.
This is right here. Now, I will say he never was I'm looking at his career. Most games he's played was 68 in year 1. So that could be a reason why, that he never really came to fruition. But like I said, regardless of what type of player we thought he was, as far as most improved player, it's a 10-point jump. This is a 10-point jump. This is 52% shooting from the floor, which is better than as a dude who takes a lot of jumpers. This is 41% from 3 for a power forward. This is 9 rebounds. This is 2 assists. This is a 10-point jump. So I can't take a guy who we knew was going to be a star at one point, who's up 6 points because he's on a whack ass team, versus a guy who jumped up 10 points, and the team is much better than expected.
Yeah, but their team might be low key whack because they ain't that far away from OKC in the standings.
True, so, but like I said, can you take a 6 point?
I get what you're saying. Yeah. I get what you're saying. 6-point jump versus 10-point jump is crazy. So he'll probably win it, but let's see where the end of the season where he is. As 10-point jump might end up being a 6 or 4-point jump. He might show himself to be what you all thought he was. I say it like that. Wait and see, but that makes sense.
Yeah. The Jalen Brunson argument is great too. I don't think he has a better argument than Lauri, but I think he's got a better argument than who we just talked about, SGA, because you think about the role for Jalen Brunson. He goes into a situation in New York where they're looking for a franchise point guard. Like I just mentioned earlier, they haven't had that in such a long time. He's here, and now he's in this position to where he's having these great, like Blake's, like I said, Blake sends the tweet off and we see the consecutive games he had. There's a 44-point game followed by 34 points and another 34 points. There's 38 points in the beginning of January, right? The numbers are all off the chain. He's in New York. They're a great team. You know, he ends up becoming like a dude. I mean, he lived up to expectations. We didn't know. Well, also, we didn't know if he was going to live up to expectations. That was the thing. They were like, is he New York's guy? He looks like New York's guy. So I think just for that, I think I wouldn't vote him number one. I think Lauri takes the number one spot, but I put him right behind Lauri for that number two spot just because of how he's filling those shoes for such a large franchise that's been looking for a guy just like him, you know?
Yeah.